Hello everyone, welcome back and let's solve some Leetcode today. So the problem that we are picking today is a 20 problem or 20 valid parentheses. Given a string, so initially before I start reading it, I'm going to read out all the solution to you and then we are going to try to articulate it in MS Paint and then I'm going to solve the problem. That's the regular sequence of all these videos that I make and I hope you love it. So yeah, let's try reading it. Given a string S containing just some characters, the opening bracket, closing bracket, the opening curly bracket, the closing curly bracket, the opening square bracket, and the closing square bracket, determines if your input is valid. An input string is valid, open brackets must be closed by the same type of brackets. Open brackets must be closed in the correct order. Every closed bracket has a corresponding open bracket of same type. This problem is very simple and this is articulated wonderfully. I tried making it, but my explanation was not to the point, so I'm going to do it again. I'm recording it again because my articulation was not that good. Fine. I'll try to make it more simple this time. So we have been given with 4 examples, 3 being true, 1 being false. I want to get rid of that that I do always. Fine. So I'm going to pick this problem and this curly brackets and this one is false. So now what we want to do is we want to check whether this closing bracket have its own opening bracket. So while this is being in stack, this was the first element that we will get. So what we have to make sure is this closing bracket has its own opening bracket, and when we found this closing bracket and this opening bracket, we can tell that the brackets have been opened and closed at the same time. The brackets has been opened and closed. So now we can eliminate this part of string. We can completely forget about this, and then we are going to focus on this complete closing bracket, this complete square closing bracket, and we are going to find the opening bracket for it. And once we find that, we are going to eliminate this from the string because we just don't care about it. Then we are going to focus on this closing bracket, the closing circular bracket. I'm always messing these brackets up, but you get the point, right? So if we found this closing circular bracket and this opening circular bracket, we are going to eliminate this completely from the string. No questions asked, and this is always going to return true. Now in this particular case, we find this closing square bracket, but we never find the opening square bracket, and that is one of the problems why this will always get false. The problem statement is pretty simple. It's no brainer. So now these are all these basic rules that we have to follow. Now let's talk some sense. So in this particular problem, it's a stack, so assume that we are going from right to left, rather, because stack has the first element to the last and the last element to the first. So this is where we are going to start from. So we will have an hash map of all these closing brackets and opening brackets. So we are going to search everything, and the key being the closing brackets, not the opening brackets, because we are never going to detect opening bracket at first, because hence we are starting from the very last of the string, right? So take a look at this and we'll see, yeah, this exists, right? This is legit, this exists in a hash table. So we are going to find an opening bracket for it, and hence we are finding the opening bracket for it. It is a legit thing, right? So we are going to eliminate this. Then we are going to find a closing bracket for this, opening bracket for this, closing bracket for this. You get the idea. That's what we discussed earlier. But I'm going to talk about some nitpicky details about what we want to do. So consider this being the case. Now we have found this and closing squared bracket, and yeah, this looks legit. And then I'm going to move my pointer here. We are going to pop this out. And then we are going to look for another opening bracket or opening circular bracket. We don't even found the the closing circular bracket, and that is a problem, right? Because that doesn't look legit, because first of all, our hash map is never going to find it. Plus the stack is empty because we found this, then we eliminated this. While there are elements in the string, but still the stack is empty, that does mean that it's invalid. So we are going to return false. Having an empty stack at the end is okay, but having an empty stack within the process is going is not okay. That is the reason why it should be eliminated, because that is not a legit bracket string, right? So that's all the details that I have to give before solving it. Now we are going to solve this in stack, obviously. Let's make a stack here. Let's create a stack here. So we have to return boolean, so that's pretty simple. We are going to create a stack here and put in int. Oh no, it's a habit these days. We are going to have char here, and then we are going to name our stack as open brackets, right? That's dumb. That's dumb. That's dumb. Fine. Then we are going to have an unordered list. I try to not make spelling mistakes. I always tend to type this wrong. We are going to have characters here, char here, and then we are going to name it par because it just makes everything simple for me. And then we are going to have an closing bracket as key. So this and this. It's always a problem. Fine. I'm going to copy paste it thrice and then just alter some nitpick details. Fine. No, I put it the wrong way. Fine. That's it. That's up. We have no issues here. I'm going to run a for loop with cons for optimization purpose. Carrier and we've been writing for loop here, and then we are going to declare a variable which is c and then s. So we are going to have everything from string as well. Then we are going to write in an if statement here. We have to check whether that bracket, whether that closing bracket is in our unordered map, which is par. So we're going to do par.find. I guess that's how we write it. All these C++ notations are very complicated. It's not like a one-liner function. It always ends bad. Now we have to check if the stack is empty. First of all, we got a right. We got a right. Open dot push. I guess it's push C, because we should always be pushing. Now once we find this condition where this opening bracket exists, so we have to check whether the stack is empty or not. So if stack dot open dot empty, I guess empty. Yeah. I've started DSA with Python. That always makes me lose track of things. Now we have to check if open stop element is C, and if it is, and if it doesn't match, right? If it doesn't match, then we have to. If it doesn't match, then we have to return false. So these are all the cases that we have to eliminate. These two cases. If that doesn't matches, then we have to eliminate it. Now we are going to simply pop the top element of the stack, which is, I guess, open dot pop. This is something I like about stack. Fine. And then we are going to continue it because we just don't want to push if we are popping. I'm so unsure about things. And then we are going to return our final input, a final output, which is we have to check whether the stack is empty or not. That's it. It is anyways going to return us bool, so we don't have to worry about it. And I hope it works. Okay, fine. Yeah, We don't have to specify anything. I'm dumb. So we are getting false here. Why is it false? It's false everywhere. I guess I've messed this up because I'm always confused about that. Hence, I'm not coding in. Yeah, fine. All our edge cases, all our cases are running. I guess we'll submit it. That works. That's a very unoptimized solution, but fine. We'll go with it. I guess you like the video. I'll be taking another problems in few different ways. I have no options to